Yeah, I got your
True.
look on
I
there.
sure said when I seen hers, I'm like, I wore gloves today too.
I love gloves.
Lot.
Conversation, baby. They call it mystic conversation, baby. Come sit in this house and get this information, baby. Hit a bunch on the streets, can't come pay so versatile. Trying to keep up is gonna take a while. Talk games on wild style. Just tune in, let it run you down. They call it
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy EJ, aka Mr. Conversation. Yo, we are here on the hot seat with EJ Thomas. We're gonna have a great show in store for y'all today, man. Y'all excuse the voice, it's a little hoarse. Had a lot of stuff going on, but we can straight into it. Turn that off, man. Shout out to J Biggs for the intro. Now we're gonna start off. I left. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, introduce yourselves real quick. What's up? Let them know what's up.
Hey y'all, I'm Lily.
Okay. In the middle, we have.
Hello, this is Miss Jazz.
All right. And to my right.
Hey y'all, y'all already know this your girl Sky Rain.
All right, for sure, for sure. Now, this ain't gonna be a super long show today. We have 3 topics that we're going to discuss. The 3 topics are going to be in no particular order, but I think we're gonna go in order. We got same New Year, same you, church hurt, and what is accountability. So if you want to hear any of those, all of those, make sure that you tune. But let's get to it right here. First one, New Year, same you. This comes up because we're basically end of the first week of the new year, right? All right. I thought about this. I covered it on the radio show. I wanted to bring it here. New year, same you. Now, I want you to start off, Jazz, on this one. We gave a little rundown a little earlier when I was able to talk to you for a minute. New year, same you. What does that mean to you?
Well, what that means to me, well, I don't do the New Year's resolution or anything like that. I stopped that years ago. One reason is because sometimes I feel like people set this for failure, and a lot of times I feel like people don't put more energy into what they're trying to change. So, for me personally, I always just try to be a better version of myself than the year before or do something better. Like I'm not a big person of the New Year's resolution, but I do try to set goals for myself for that year, things that I'm trying to accomplish during that year. And just do that. But I feel like people should grow, you know, year instead of just being the same person who they are.
For sure. Okay. And what about you? Talk to me. New year, same you.
I just feel like I'm not waiting for the new year to change something if I want to change. Like, if I want to start working out and it's December 12th, start December 12th. You don't have to wait until January 1st. I don't understand why people ever did that. And people never even get their New Year resolution. So it's really just a waste of time. And like she said, I think people set themselves up for failure because you know for a fact you never had the desire to do that anyway. You just waited until the new year to feel like it was a new slate or you're changing. No, you're still the exact same person. So I don't understand it.
So you don't do New Year's resolution?
No.
I feel the same way. Like I'm with Jazz. I make up. Well, not make up. I set goals for myself that I want to accomplish. And then I reflect on, okay, what did I accomplish that I set for myself the previous? And whatever I get on my list, okay, it's going to move over to the new list. So it's about me. I just want to be a better version of my past self.
But what I will say that I've been to vision board events.
Oh yeah,
and I like that because you analyze yourself, and you can see it for yourself. And when you see it on paper for yourself, I feel like you can have more motivation and determination to knock those goals out instead of just
saying it
And
because saying it, speaking it,
And
writing
doing.
it, and seeing it, all of that comes, it comes in because I have a journal. I have like 3 journals. One is my planner where I write down like my bills and stuff, like appointments. And then I have another journal where I write down my thoughts that I come up with. And then in that same journal, okay, well, this is my to-do list, right? And this is the goal that I have for myself, and this is the to-do list to get there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so glad y'all all positive today with this. I'm so happy. I gotta give y'all some applause. Y'all so nice today. Oh my God.
Sarcastic.
Y'all so damn nice. Listen, I did not know that these ladies was gonna come here with all this nice shit today, because I don't want to hear that shit. Listen here. All right, straight up. Respectfully, y'all. This new year, same you. I framed it like that on purpose. Nothing changes every new year except either the last number or the second to last number in our lifetime. Nobody live or be 100 most of the time. Just those last 2 years of change. That's it. That's it. Ain't nothing changed. You are the same asshole. You are the same nice person. You are the same person from December 31st to January 1st. All right. I ain't gonna even be nice, but I thought about being nice for a second, but no, I'm not. Because this is the problem with this, right? My boy Sumo said resolutionaries. First of all, trying to go run to the gym on January 1st. Okay. If you want to do something, you're going to do it.
Specials though.
You're going to do it.
That's when the gym specials come out. What you mean?
You're right. You're right on that. Okay. I will concede that point. Okay. They cut it down from $19.99 to you get some $9.99 deals. I get you on that. But in general, you're not going to change because you did it just because it's the first of the month or the first of the year. That's not why you're going to change. It's those vision parties you're talking about when y'all are actually being vision and seeing the resolutionaries, the ones that just because it's New Year's and that's good. No, y'all are doing it for the wrong reasons. That is a tradition that we have been told to us that helps. That's not. In the mirror, Jimmy, what's up, man? Jimmy said, "Oh, cool, man." That's what he said. But yeah, that's about it. Like, I'm just saying, as a person who went to actually try to lose them, when you make up your mind, you made up your mind, and it's not because it's the first of the year. That's not because it's whenever you're gonna get your ass there and actually decide to do it. Can you use it as a springboard? But like we were talking about earlier, what's the percentage of that? We were talking about people doing something and you've been warned and you still going, you put you do it. Now, y'all, this is y'all warning. Okay. Most people do not, we're already only 9 days in. And we guarantee that about 70% of people I know have already failed at their resolution.
95% of people haven't even did.
Whether it's I don't want to drink alcohol, I ain't gonna do no sodas. I told myself, just kind of trying to join in with everybody, whatever. I ain't gonna drink no sodas. I'm talking about I got to like day 4. And it was like
drunk one without even thinking about it.
Without even, it was just that. And then when I thought about it, I was like, oh man, you know what? But it is what it is. Let's stop faking the fun.
I did do a resolution one time and I actually did it, right? Okay, so my mom, when we were at church, they do this little thing where you like read the Bible every year and at the end you will finish like the Bible. So when I was see her do it all the time and I used to try, but I used to always miss and like forget, So about like 3 years ago, I had made it up in my mind, like, when the new year comes, I'm going to read every day like my mom. I'm going to be like just like her. And I did it. And at the end of the year, I did feel like really good because I accomplished it. But I didn't make it like a New Year's resolution. It was something that I had tried to do over the years and couldn't accomplish it. So when I finally did, it made me feel like really good. But I feel it wasn't 10 years. I want to do this on the new year. I just was like, okay, you have to start at the beginning and then read every day until the year's over. But I would try, and then I would mess up all the time.
So it's kind of more so a goal that you accomplished,
Yeah,
a personal
yeah.
goal that you did for yourself.
Yeah. So maybe people should start doing that. Like, just set a goal for yourself instead of calling it a New Year's resolution for yourself, and then try to accomplish it. And if you miss a day or something, start over in February or March or April, May, whatever month you mess up, start over and until you accomplish what you want.
I think it's kind of like a word play for real, because setting a New Year's resolution is basically really setting a goal for yourself, right? But if you mess up, like for example, right, your New Year's resolution is not to drink no soda, but damn, you slipped up and drunk a soda. So does that mean you throw that goal out the window? No,
Working
you don't
towards
throw it out the window. You just keep moving.
Is
You
you
just
think
keep
about
pushing.
it, the last year you were drinking soda all the time.
Right.
This year you were self-consciously telling yourself not to drink a soda in
You
March.
might drink it in
It's
moderation.
a lot less than what you did the previous years.
Yes.
Yep. So I get y'all. My thing is setting a specific date in being put yourself under strain, and then you get to the point like, dog, y'all stop sending text in that chat because I got my phone connected, so every time it come in, it blanks. So you know I'm talking to when we get one in right now. But appreciate you though. You want to put the comments on over here on this right here, y'all. Appreciate that. Now, but it's the timing that's the problem. And then it's also my main issue with it is people act like the new year is supposed to change everything, who you are as a person. You're just supposed to be just this blanket, just everything is just coming. I know it's a little hot in the building, y'all. I'm sorry. This is the hot seat, y'all. So you know what I mean? It is the hot seat.
Okay.
So, finally, we on there. Now, we're gonna that's all we pretty much gonna do, but just do it now. Do it now. Why not do it next month? Whenever. Don't wait till December 21st or shoot, Lord, January 1st to try and be a better person, try to change it in your life. That is my main issue. All right. All we're gonna do is the ones that's gonna carry a lot. Next subject. The next subject, y'all, because you know how when y'all talking about stuff in the group chats, and it's already going in.
I actually got some fans in the car.
Go get them.
I should have worn my t-shirt.
We just gonna have to keep it hot in here today. I'll open up the door.
Well, I'm straight.
So, all right, let's bring it back in, y'all. Let's bring it back in, y'all.
I'm already
We're about to talk about some church right now.
I meant to wear my pearls. Damn.
You sure did.
Yeah.
You said that.
All right, now that church hurt is on the screen right now, that's going to be the next topic that we're going to talk about. All right, is church hurt and why do people leave? Now, I'm gonna let Lily start because you brought it up in the group chat. That's one of the subjects that you wanted to talk about today. I was like, it's a perfect time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, this is subject. Religion and politics are two of the most contentious conversations that you have. But we are all adults here, and hopefully in the chat, you guys will be also, because we want to have a productive, constructive conversation between adults. And that's how we do it here on the hot seat. So it all bring us in, baby girl.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to speak on church hurt is because I wanted to understand why people don't continuously try to find somewhere else to go. Like, you go to a church and someone might make you feel uncomfortable in there, and you just rid yourself of God completely. You don't even try to keep your relationship with him. You don't still try to read his word, although you still believe in him. you don't try to keep that relationship or even try to find another church that you might like. A lot of people will get hurt in church when they're younger and then they'll never see church again. Like, I want to understand why, because I've been hurt in church myself, but that didn't deter me from going to church completely because I know what church is for. And I didn't want to let another person stop me from receiving what the Lord would have for me. So I want to understand, like, I understand people have been hurt in church, but why do you think people just don't go back completely?
Okay. Now, let me give some definitions here. So, church hurt refers to the deep emotional, spiritual, or even physical wounds caused by experiences within the church community, often from leaders or members misusing power, leading to feelings of betrayal, disillusionment, shame, or anger. It can range from minor conflicts and gossip to major abuse, requiring acknowledgement and specific healing steps. Now, let me also give the types real quick. The examples of church hurt mostly fall into 4 categories. That's spiritual abuse. That is misusing scripture to control or shame people, discouraging questions, or blaming victims for their suffering.
Like cults, for example.
Yes. You've got leadership misconduct. That's pastor did something you didn't like, whether it's an affair, financial scandals, or leaders refusing to accept accountability, which is what we're going to talk about in the 3rd topic. Interpersonal conflict. That's the gossip disguised as prayer, exclusion, or betrayal by friends. Sister Sally such and such said this about me. Then you have neglect. That's a general lack of support, feeling taken advantage of, or unmet needs within the subset of the community. So those are the 4 types of main types of church hurt that we have. Now, who wants to respond to the question that Lily asked, why do people leave and don't come back?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a number of things, right? One of the things that deter me away from the church because I'm saying us church. I can't sing in church as well. I was there on every Sunday, that began to question the thing I was in, and I wasn't getting any. It was like, and I don't know how. Really, that's why I'm here to seek guidance, right? So it's like how you're giving me unanswered answers. And then it was a point in time that was a young mother, and I was struggling, and here I am giving my offering, giving them my money every time I go to church for offering and stuff, and then here I'm struggling to come to them and asking for help numerous of times, and you turn away my money. And then I started paying attention to the words that was being sung in praise and worship. You know, so a lot of the songs is and I'm unworthy of your love. I'm your servant. I'm not nobody's servant.
You know what servant means, pertains to the Bible?
To worship, and to give praise, and like basically praising somebody outside of me. And that's not, and when when you're in a struggle, you down, and it's like, oh, this body, God gonna help you. How?
Did you believe that he would help you, or did you?
Now I believe that. I believed with my whole heart that I was going to be helped and guided through the pain and suffering that I was going through, and I wasn't being helped. And then so as it went on, and it was like they was profiting off my pain and suffering. That's how you go when you're back against the wall and you're down and out and you're feeling hopeless for yourself, and you need to pick me up.
Lily, would you like to respond?
I completely understand what you're saying, and I always think about my mom for an example, because when we were going through the things that we were going through, I was younger, so I really didn't know until I got older and we discussed it further. But my mom, she, she never like you have to think about who the people are in the church versus who they're supposed to be. When we go to church and we call ourselves Christians, we're supposed to be like Christ. A lot of people are Christians, but they're nothing like Christ. And I feel like when we go to church, people hold church people to a higher standard, which you should, because we should be at a higher standard, but a lot of people are not. So you get to church and you pay your tithes and you give your offering and you pray, but you don't see anything working because the people of the church are not like Christ. You get what I'm saying?
But the people of the church don't have nothing to do with me and my personal and what I'm asking of God.
That's true, but in the Bible, God tells you that you should fellowship with the saints. Not saying that you have to go to a specific church, but there's plenty of churches in the world. And there are some churches that are upholding the
I would like to know where those churches are. Not saying that it's not.
1 second. 1 second. Jazz, once you get in.
Okay, so first I would say that it's a lot of reasons. It's no just one answer why people leave church, because I have left a church for whatever personal reason, but I feel like first you got to know where you're going to church for. Are you going to church for people, or you going to receive the word and to learn God for yourself so you can implement that on your life? Because if you're going to church for the people, you're going to always be filled. You're never going to be satisfied, because yes, we're supposed to be Christ-like, but we're man. Even the Bible say we were all born in sin and iniquity. So we are sinners, even if we think it. We're sinning. So you can't just look at the preacher man and be like, he ain't never sinned before. He probably sinned. That's what a lot of people get messed up at. Like the pastor don't supposed to have no sins, or people don't supposed to. Now, at the end of the day, you still a man.
Oh, wow.
We still have flaws. We are imperfect. The only person that walked earth that was perfect was Jesus.
I don't
So
believe
I
it.
feel like
I believe
once
he
you
got
get
him
the
from the
mindset of why are you going to this church, and what do you need to get out this church? Like for me, I go to church because church is my refuge away from all this stuff that's going on in my life and in the world. Now, if I go to where I feel like what it is, like the financial, I've been to every time you come around, they money. You pass the offering plate by 4 times. I'm like, hey, this ain't right, you know. I feel like it's a transactional thing, and like you said, some pastors, they charge you for the wedding, charge you for the funeral. They want a price for everything, and I feel like, you know, some things are not right. I feel like some people abuse Christianity or abuse religion, and that's what people see, and a lot of people see more negative, and then the positive, and that what blinds them and turn them away from the church.
Yeah. True.
I want to get to this comment, and I want to come myself. Robert Lasseter III, who's a media guy who takes the pictures and does videography with Courtney and stuff.
Yeah, we know
all that.
him.
So yeah, really cool guy. He says the scripture quotes, "Do not forsake the assembly of the saints." This is, it's called the planting of the Lord. But put yourself in wrong. That's not God's fault. It was a purpose. Well said. What I want to say is, first off, church hurt is not about God. Church hurt is about the people in the church.
Yes.
So that's the separate right there. You're supposed to have your own walk, your own talk, your own faith with him. Okay. Now, That being said, people can. I told y'all how I feel about people. I feel that most people just ain't shit. All right. I think they're morally corrupt. They go, you go to church, all this stuff. They put on these veils. That's how I truly feel that most people are. That's why we have to have laws, because if people left their own devices, most people are going to be at least a lot of them be. That's my personal opinion. But that being said, even if they're good, you can have disagreements. What happened with me? First time I ever had church hurt. I was a drummer. Really young. I think I might have told y'all a story before. First wife, before we was in there. Okay. Now they didn't know that she was in this situation, but it really don't matter. But I had to put it out there. I was made to be like I was the wolf in sheep's clothing, and I came and I deflowered their daughter and everything like that.
I hate that.
And respectfully, that's my baby mama, but you was already in the game before I was, or we was in the game at the same time. You had more bodies than I did at that time. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. No disrespect to it. So the point is, they looked at it as I came and I deflowered their perfect, daughter, the perfect church girl that sung in the choir and all that. Now, I got to think I was drunk. She got sat down, we get in front of everybody, do that old spiel, with centers, with that. Oh yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Meanwhile,
that's not godly.
Meanwhile, the organist, who is still my friend to this day, he's up there. Okay. He already had like 2-3 kids out of wedlock at that time, but that was his mom who was the pastor of the church. He didn't get down.
That was so weird.
I got sat down for, I'm talking months at a time. Now, this is to become a real drummer. I even lost faith in music at that time due to that. So it hit me double. So I never learned music. I literally quit at that because I don't deal with the emotional so I never learned how to read music. All right. I say all that. People don't understand the things that can happen.
I think you just answered my question completely. Because my question specifically was, I understand why people leave. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But why do people leave and just quit God completely? But the way that you explained it and the way that you were probably feeling in that moment, now I can understand why someone would not even try to go to another church or to talk to another pastor or whatever the case may be, because you were so hurt at this specific place. I don't even want to try again anywhere else. So yeah, you just, okay.
It's a shaming that was given. And sometimes people are too judgmental in church. Now,
it's not even sometimes.
Hold on. Go ahead. And then.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's sometimes people are too. I think that when people know the word, just how people use the Bible to fit into their lives and make people do things that they want to do. I think when people know the word of the Bible and know how you're supposed to live, when they can clearly see other people not living that way, they can whisper about them and talk about them, even though they themselves might not be living that way. You can see that on them because they come to church, they pray, they shout in church. You might be ushers or deacons or whatever the case may be.
And then they go home and punch their wife in the face because she didn't cook the chicken right.
Exactly.
Or she goes home.
But we don't see them.
On the children.
We call them Bible thumpers. Or we don't see them having that affair or whatever the case may be. But when you come to church and your skirt is too short, or you come to church and you don't have money for offering or whatever the case may be, we can clearly see that. And then that gives something for people to talk about. That's where I think the disconnect happens, because God tells us exactly how to judge. Take the plank out of your own eye before you try to correct your brother or sister. A lot of people trying to correct their brother or sister before correcting themselves. And that's when it becomes a problem as well.
And then also, like, it's a lot of times where we have Christians, or we call them Bible thumpers, that always trying to condemn you to hell.
They sure do.
Right? And it's like, how the hell you gonna tell me I'm going to hell when you're not even living right? Because, baby, I'm going to meet you there too.
I really
Just
think
because you go to church don't mean you're not going to hell. Or
True.
the idea that people, 'cause I don't believe there's hell or heaven. I believe, and that's another thing. Uh, Another I left the church because I began to see humanity was into. And if we take it back to where it come from and it originated from to what this Christianity where we are in now, like I can't follow that. I need myself, I can't follow that. So it's like I was saying earlier, if I'm telling you how I feel, right? And I'm give you my true feelings and my all as a Christian, you're supposed to be open, understanding, right? Regardless of the situation, what I'm telling you. But instead, you're telling me, oh, well, you definitely gonna go for hell for that.
That has nothing to do with Christianity. That has everything to do with the person you're speaking to.
But that's why people leave the church.
Got you. I will say this. First off, I believe in God wholeheartedly. Jesus Christ. I do believe 100%.
Fine shit.
Come behind me on this one. Okay.
I think she might want to
Yeah, you want to go behind me on this one because we talking about church. But
watch the cord.
Yeah, don't sit on the board.
Watch the cord.
Step over there. All right, to get back to it, let me read some of these and then step over there. Let me get to some of these comments real quick. The scripture reads to work out your own salvation is not the responsibility of the church's responsibility. It's the word, and it's not a personally created theology of the written word. That's how false doctrines begin and how erroneous belief starts. And also, church hurt derives when people follow man rather than follow Christ as the leader. Trusting God to leader who will speak life direction and action in your life is different from trusting some guy you think is cool. And then Ms. Brown says, I had to learn not to follow man, but to follow God. So these things that happen, all right, is literally most of the time is not an issue with God. It's an issue with the people that are there. To your point, just because you leave a church does not mean you don't have to go to church if you believe. Now, you're already kind of on that edge, and that was kind of what pushed you away. The rest, you decided to go see whatever your faith or whatever that you believe in.
But
that's not what it's about.
And then I just also want to say, like, a lot of us have tried different churches, right? So when you visit and go to other churches and you see the same things was going on, that also derail you from going to church. I don't have to go to church to know God.
I really want to understand why people give up on God easily, but you don't give up on anything else. Because you can go to a job and work a job and hate that job, but you're never going to just stop working. You're always going to have to get another job because you have bills to pay, you have things you want to buy. But when it comes to our souls being saved, people don't have that same mindset. You can go to 5 churches, and if all 5 of the churches make you feel like they aren't upholding God's word, eventually that'll derail you and you won't want to go to church ever. But why did you stop at 5? Why didn't you go to 6 churches, 7, 8, 9? Why didn't you keep going until you found one that either God showed you was the one, or when you went in there, you felt like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be because it makes me feel like, I just understand, like, people, it seems like people are so quick to give up on God, but you're not quick to give up on everything else. Like, we'll be with a guy, you'll be dating a guy, and he'll do you dirty so many times, and you give him chance after chance after chance after chance, but you don't have that same mindset when it comes to going to church and when it comes to forgiving Christians in the church, because those Christians in the church are born into sin just like you and I. That's where I'm like getting it. I understand, why people leave and you'll be discouraged and all that, but why is it so quick for people to give up on God, but not quick to give up on anything else in life? I guess that's where I'm kind of.
I 100%. Now, my response might not be a popular response because there's a reason why. I want to be careful when I say it. So, for lack of a better phrase, it's because proof. All right, that man or that woman is tangible in front of you. Everybody has the same faith that you have, so it's easier to say, "All right, that's that win." I don't see that every day. That person that's tangible in front of you, you can see that that's grounded. You can forgive a physical entity sometimes easier than you can a spiritual entity or what you view. Because again, this goes to the psychology behind it. We look at it and we look at it as the church hurt me. And then it turns into God. So I'm leaving the church, not those people in the church hurt me. So that's the dichotomy of it. That's what makes it a little different. Ms. Brown says the problem is people just because they go to church, go to heaven, but you have to have a real relationship. And Jimmy said, church is a business. You don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. The Bible says when 2 or 3 are gathered, I get that. I understand that. However, it also says, it was having a place to congregate and be around other saints, for paraphrasing it, but it does talk about that. So I get it. Robert Lassiter says she is talking real good right there. He's referring to Lily. That's what's up. We got a little preacher girl, a woman on there over here today. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Do your thing. We're gonna get Shay in here for a second. She's off camera, but she's gonna give us about how she feels about church hurt real quick. And before we move something else.
I never really experienced no church hurt. I mean, I still go to church when I feel the need to. I feel like it's, I don't know, Christianity. Now I have moved on from being Christian. I don't define myself as Christian. And that's simply just because of my upbringing and the things that they did or whatever. Like, I still use that to, like, from, but because, like, one church don't work out, the other one. I came up here, experienced, like, 2 other churches, didn't like it. I found one that I could really resonate with, so I go there and feel like it, but I don't really too much how much to say on that.
All right, Jazz, and then go ahead, Jazz.
I really feel like for people to get a clear understanding, they have to read the word for themselves and build a personal relationship with the Lord themselves. Because if you're going to the church, which is the people, to fill some kind of void, you're gonna always be disappointed. Read your word for yourself, have faith, and just build a relationship with God. Because if you rely on man, you're gonna be disappointed every time. And that's just how I feel about it. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
Okay. Now, I will say this. There are clear things that we are supposed to do. All right. The Bible does give a roadmap onto how you're supposed to be. And yes, people don't do what they're supposed to do. All right. I concede that. But that does not mean you leave the church because of these evil people. I do understand that when people are in leadership, though, sometimes it does make it harder. And we have to be real about that, because if it's the pastor or if it's these deacons on these boards that can control everything, the type of church I go to is board after board after board after board after board. If I want to get anything done as a musician, I have to talk to this person who talks to that person who talks to that person who talks to that person. That's how the church runs. Okay, I fought it when I was younger. I don't fight it anymore. I understand how it is. It's like, I'm not going to waste the time. Now, if it's something that God told me directly, then I'm going to go do it because he told me to. But if it's an idea of mine and I don't feel that he gave me direct, go do it, then follow that chain.
Yeah, our church is nothing like that. Like, if you have something that you want to do, talk to the pastor. The pastor will refer to the lady. She takes the call, the emails, the church secretary. When you go to her and you talk to her, you can either go to her first or to the pastor first, but the pastor is probably going to tell you to go to her because the pastor has a lot going on. So she'll be the one to remember, like, oh, if you want to do this or if you want to do that. That's just it. Like, you don't go through all these different people. No, you just go to the pastor, you let him know, and then he'll even tell you, like, okay, make sure you call me on this day so I can set a meeting for us, or make sure you do this, because if you just tell him on Sunday, he probably will forget. But and then, like, when you said that they made y'all stand up in front of the congregation and say, pastor, he would never.
I think she said best. She said she found a church that resonated for herself. You got to find a church that fits you, because my church might not fit for you. I might not fit for your church. You got to find something that fit for you and that make you feel welcome. And you getting what you getting out of it.
It resonated more with me because my apostle, like, he's a prophet or whatever like that. So it's just like, I don't know, to me it's just more like, it's like he teaches the Bible or whatever for everybody to understand.
Yes,
so
he teaches.
Yeah, he actually teaches it. It's not no way, like, he's not trying to manipulate it or try to flip it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like real. And then also it's just like somebody being in tune like that, like intuitively, like, God telling him, like, he could sit there and tell me my whole life. Like, and he done that plenty of times. That's why I was just like, okay, yeah, this is where I need to be or whatever. But I don't really need to go there all the time, because there is certain people in there that rub me the wrong way. So, like, all the time I don't go, but they don't stop me from going whenever I feel the need to go. So
and that's how it's supposed to be. Like, whether you're at church every day or you're going once a year or once every 10 years, it doesn't matter. The moment that you step in church, you should feel the love of Jesus, because that is what he says that church should be about. Point blank, period. Like, a lot of people, they go to church and then they get judged in church, but the same thing that you're doing in the church, people were doing when they were your age as well, probably. But somehow they forget that they used to be young, and they forget they used to go out and they used to do this and do that. And then they try to downplay you. And it's like, you do the same thing. Or even if you want Master from my hometown, he's been not pastoring, but he's been like giving his life to God since he was young. So God has been using him ever since he was a child. So he didn't really do too much partying, much drinking, or anything like that. But if you come and let's say come to church and your house smell like weed, he's not gonna be like, oh, you smell like weed. No. He literally had multiple sermons about that. Don't pretend like you do things then. Someone smelling like this or smelling like that, at least they came to church. At least you're lucky that they decided to come here this morning, because they could have been slumped off somewhere doing God knows what. That's the problem as well. Like, people, they forget, like, you well, now you think that you're just holier than thou, but really you're not.
And I also think that a lot of times people go to church with certain expectations, whether it's the expectation of the people in the church, whether it's the expectation of the message being received, or how the preacher is preaching, and how the church is ran. So And then when they don't get that fixation of their expectations, then that's when they become what's the word, disappointed.
Mhm.
I feel like when it comes to the word, though, like if you're expecting for the word to make you feel some type of way, I feel like that makes sense because they say you're supposed to go to church to expect something.
Right.
Now, expecting something out of the people in the church, that's where it's kind of like, you know.
Well, I think when it comes to the people of the church, because like you said earlier, you expect them to be open and loving and caring and understanding, right?
Mhm.
And then when you have a problem or issue and you go to these people for guidance or whatever the case may be, and you don't get that godly love or that
Mm.
godly,
Yeah.
what's supposed to be given,
Mhm.
then that's a deterrence too.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like it's some people in your church that rub you the wrong way, but you still go, but you don't go as often. But who's to say if those people wasn't rubbed the wrong way, would she go as often?
That's a good question too.
Now, I gotta
But you
get
know what I'm saying? Like,
I gotta get to some of these comments. We got a briefer show today. So we have Robert Lesser. There's a hierarchy in the church, just like the other job organization. Although we might not like it, we abide by the house. If you don't like it, then you should find, like Jazz was saying, you find a church that is perfect fit for you. Okay, See, Weston says, "I'm a bow out because I'm Christian, and it has a call on our communities." Okay,
I don't know.
I said that's why we have to read and understand the Bible for ourselves. And Jimmy says the church is the people. Okay, so now we've covered different forms of church hurt. We've covered that the church is not just a building, it is the people.
Mhm.
Okay, we've covered whether you believe or you don't believe, leaving, staying. Kind of came to a consensus to find a church that fits. Now, how do we fix the problems before it gets to the point where we go? Because here on the Hot Seat, we're about solutions. It tells us in the Bible, right? There's 3 steps, and it's very, very easy. It's the same thing I tell my kids. First of all, you go to the person that offended you, and you talk directly to them. The problem is we go to everybody else and talk about what they did, and then they tell other people. Now it done got back to them, and it's even the same way that you was trying to say it. It's got more venom, it's more extra phony. You done call her all head heifer, and all you said, it's simple, and it done got changed. You go to the person, so that way can't nobody else say anything. Now, most likely the person offended you, and they probably did it on purpose. Let's be real. All right, that minute they said they 10 toes down. Next thing you do, you get an official of the church, not yet the pastor. You get someone higher up that is supposed to do those things. It might be a counselor, it might be something like that. You get a person to come with you to talk to that person now, but that person who that official capacity. The third thing you do then, if that is not, that's the pastor, and you have that say. You've done all that, and you don't get the resolution that you need. If you still feel mental health to your, then you have no choice but to go. Everybody to stay somewhere where they feel uncomfortable, where they feel whatever. It's a church, it's a job, it's whatever that is. But that is what you're supposed to do. And the problem is we don't do it. We want to fight, we want to kick, we want to scream, but we don't do everything but talk to that person that offended us. And if you do those things, you got to leave. You just got to leave. All right. Now, I want Scott first, leave last word on church hurt, and then we're gonna go to accountability.
Well, the last thing I'm gonna say on church hurt is, if church is your thing, just find you a place that Shay said resonates with you. At the end of the day, church doesn't defy your relationship with your higher power or God. Your relationship with God is a personable, and it doesn't connect to the building, to the church. The church is a place for people to come together and fellowship, not what the expectations of what you supposed to be and exactly how you supposed to be because you call yourself a Christian. Because everybody in there, they doing all type of stuff, because at the end of the day we're people, and people ain't shit. Okay.
All right. Lily?
I think that people should have their own relationship with God, and he would you would be able to have discernment, and therefore when you do go places in the world, not just church, you will be able to know if this is a place for you or not. You should be in the Bible for yourself, and you should be asking God the questions that you need, and you should be actually listening, because sometimes your question is going to be answered in a specific way, and it might not even be answered in a way, because God can speak to you in any form. From a little kid, you never know. You just have to be paying attention. But if that relationship with God, he will show you what church you should be at, or what job you should be at, or the people you should have in your life. If you are going somewhere and you're feeling confused or conflicted, then that's probably not the place for you, and you probably didn't even ask God if you should be there. So start with that. Start with God first, reading the Bible, and then he'll show you the way that you should be if you want God to be the head of your life.
That's all. Now I want to just say this real quick. This conversation was with people who actually like, Lord, why I keep forgetting your name there, because you got like 5 of them.
Sky.
Unicorn, Sky, a bunch of other ones you got. Okay, Sky was saying, now, if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. It's also not for y'all church hopping people that always switch church. Somebody said your name wrong or didn't say your right title. It's not for y'all either, because y'all on the other side. Okay, shout out to my grandma. I love you, baby, but you done switched church too many damn times. I love you, grandma. I love you, but you done been about half the churches in Columbus, Georgia, and you got to stop, grandma. You like 80 years old, 90 years old now. Stop hopping churches like
Who
that.
taking
I love
her
you.
to all these churches? Because I know she ain't driving.
My uncle.
Oh, you got
shout out to my aunt. He watched the show too. I love you too, aunt. So anyway, he be commenting on stuff. Okay. Now, the next topic. Accountability. Now, this is gonna be one topic. Now, we're not doing it how these normal podcasts do. This isn't a man versus a woman kind of thing. It's for beautiful, intelligent females in, and it's just one me. I ain't got the time to be going back and forth with every last one. I'm on this one, okay? This is a everybody situation, okay? So everything that I say is going to be from a man and woman. We are people perspective. So let me put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I get myself in any trouble, let me put the title up. So when flipping and it act right around there, accountability. Now, y'all know me. I like to give the dishes some whack with it, so people can't do all this. When you pull up, the most common definitions of accountability is the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility. Okay, that don't really do too much, right? That only gives us a little bit. Now, let's say it in some simple words, right? Accountability, simply put, is being answerable or responsible for your actions, decisions, and their outcomes, meaning you own them, you explain them, and you accept the consequences, good or bad, to someone else, a la a boss, customer, or the public. It's about owning your role and being relatable. It's often involving taking initiative to fix issues, not just reacting to them. Okay, that encompasses all of that. Most of the time I see these podcasts is men telling women, y'all don't like accountability, and it's women turning back and saying it to them. We're talking about people
don't like accountability.
Okay. Now, there's also different types. The key aspects are ownership, answerability, trustworthiness, and proactivity. Now, that's accepting the responsibility for what you do. It's being prepared to explain your performance and choices. It's your trustworthiness, which is demonstrating your relatability to your conduct, and it's proactivity, looking ahead to prevent future problems rather than just reacting to them. All of that is about accountability. You, whether it's at your job, it's your relationship, that is what accountability encompasses. People just think it's just, okay, admit when you did something wrong. It's also about prevention also, so you're not doing it over and over again. So before I get into all my extra rants, we're going to start off with Shay on this one, then we're going to go to Jazz.
Okay, well, first off, I didn't know it was that many like parts of accountability for one. So so now I'm kind of like, but what it meant to me pretty much was just like once mature enough to like do their wrongdoings or what they did. And like you said, just like how are you going to get it from happening? That's all I really like. I need to wait. I just want to do. Just like let me see if I can. I don't know. Just say for instance, a client. Say I show up late. You know what I'm saying? And then my client on time, I get there or whatever. You might feel like I'm taking accountability. I apologize, and I also know this because I'm the one like because she was going to try to.
What example that you use is also the consequence of the action is you losing money. Right? So you're showing that. Right? So now you're getting in deep into it. Now, the last thing that you might want to add with that situation is not doing it. Because true accountability is understanding that you did something that's wrong, that is hurtful, that's whatever. And I'm not going to tell you to do. That's not true accountability. That I keep snapping and I keep doing. My bad. That's not accountability. Accountability is I did it. I was wrong. Hey, man, it might be a coming. Somebody, do something to me for a second. I might be back. I'm accepting that. I'm not going to go down. And I know I smacked that. You smacked that. Let's put that out there. But anyway, I ain't mean to hit that. When I said it, I thought about it. But anyway, because it's not where I'm trying to go. But that's true accountability. Now, Jazz, what's up?
Yeah, she said it plain and simple. Accountability is a word that I've been, I ain't gonna say struggling with, but I've been learning because I always used to try to fix the problem when the problem came up, or okay, you did this and you did this, but sometimes I had to analyze myself when I put myself in certain situations and certain things happen to me. I had to be accountable for some things that fell on my part. And by being accountable, I was able to analyze situations and prevent things from happening in the future. But a lot of people that claim that they're adults, they don't want to be accountable for nothing. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. They don't want to accept that they did wrong. They don't want to try to fix nothing. It is what it is, and that is. But it's not being mature, and it's not being a wise person. You have to be accountable for the wrong things that you do, and you have to follow suit with trying to prevent those things from reoccurring.
Man, I love it. All right, Bree, talk to me.
You calling Bree?
My bad.
You talking to Scott?
Yeah, talking Scott.
So
dang it, I'll be up. I'm sorry, but continue.
So I mean, they basically hit it on the head. Accountability is owning up to the bullshit and not doing it again. And also, like, people get it mixed up a little bit too, because you want to take, okay, yeah, I did it, but it's like what you gonna do about it, kind of, so to speak. It's like being a bully, like bullying. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
And so, if you are truly going to say, you wanted to get accountability. First of all, you have to look at yourself. And you also have to accept the consequences that come behind it.
That accountability.
If you cannot accept the consequences, you cannot be fully accountable. And that's how I feel about it.
And I think that's the hardest part that people have.
Yeah.
Because you just said people will be bullies. They'll do. Yeah. I had a guy I worked with, one of my first radio things. His family, I said what I said.
Yeah, I said what I said.
And I couldn't stand that shit, bro. I was so fucking mad every time he would say it. And I got to the point where I confronted him about it. And I'm like, you're saying something. And it's not even like an argument. It's just factually just incorrect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 1 + 1 does not equal 17. Like there's no way that it equals that. And I'm here to tell you that. And I'm trying not to be an asshole, but it's like, I'll stand on it. I'll say what I said. Nigga, you wrong as fuck. Like, bro, what the fuck? And we out here telling people shit. And we on a vehicle or a platform telling people, you giving them wrong ass fucking information and somehow I said what I said. We get it. You said that dumbass shit you said. It didn't work out where I was there. But anyway, I had to learn to take my own personal accountability and responsibility for things. I can't worry about what everybody else doing, but I also don't like being fake with. If I say here, I might say it in a inflammatory way, but I believe in general. I'm saying I'll come back and be like, I was just joking, y'all. Like I will say it. I'm not gonna come out here and say nothing crazy, but that just used to bug the hell out of me. And but yeah, that is a big thing. People try to be bullies and okay, are you, even if you admit it, but you gonna keep doing it? Like that's not okay.
And just because you admitting it don't mean that you're taking accountability. You could be admitting it, saying like, yeah, I did it. So what you gonna do about it? Yeah, I did it. And so what? You know, that like that's not taking accountability because you owning up to something.
Lily?
I think another part of taking accountability is being able to handle the backlash, the way people react to what it is that you did. Because a lot of people, something, and when they get upset, they might or they whatever they do, they raise their voice, the case may be, then now you're mad at them for the way that they're reacting to what you did to them. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Like people need to stop when it comes to that. If someone is angry at you for something that you did, you should be able to take it no matter what. I don't like when people no longer mad at the situation or they're no longer mad at themselves for what they did. They're mad at you for the way you spoke to them. Yeah, they could have spoken to you in a different way or whatever the case may be. You did this to them knowing that they feel the way that they feel and now choose how they react to you. No, you don't. That's really unfair. You don't get to do that. And I think that's part of accountability that people don't take. And that's the main part that you should, because the way someone reacts doesn't even should be sitting there like just taking it. Because you got them action in the first place.
That's part of the consequence.
I'm so proud of you.
That goes back to the consequences though, but because that's a consequence.
It is.
I feel like people probably wouldn't put it as that because that's the person and that thing that's happening.
They separate.
They try to separate the person from the
I get it, but it's still a cause and a reaction.
Exactly. Exactly. It's no difference. Like,
And you wasn't thinking about the reaction when you did. Let's talk about a common cheating.
Okay.
Talk about doesn't matter, cheating, woman cheating. So that's right. Okay. Now, what they did was wrong. They come and say, I'm sorry, right?
Anything that's
just supposed to be it.
And sweep under the rug.
You gotta know it's some shit coming behind that, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Homegirl, it's some shit. Now, should it last for the rest of your life? No, because there is a certain point in time where you should move on and hold stuff over somebody's head. But you can't want somebody to get over something. And I'm using that as the easiest one, what it is. Even if it's punch you in the face, or you punch somebody in the face, now you walk them and they flinch up and in front of people and how you doing that? Nigga done hit before. You know
And
what I'm
the
saying?
person will be embarrassed because their partner is doing the flinching. Now you have people whispering like, "Oh, I wonder what do he be doing to her." But if you would have never put your hands on your partner, they would have never be flinching in public to people so people can see, and then you would never be like the talk of the town.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still your own fault because you decided to put your hands on somebody, and now they fear for their life when they're around you.
Right? Exactly. And so it could be in anything. Again, it could be the woman hitting on him. She could grab a knife. Now every time reaching the cupboard, he go like this and why you doing that? We had people over. Now, whatever the situation is, you have to understand actions have consequences, and is the main part that people leave out with true accountability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I think it's the same too when people bring that you did in the past, especially if you're doing something similar to what you did before, people get at that too. But if you would have never betrayed them in the past, never be able to bring up a betrayal because you wouldn't have done it. Now you're mad at them because they can't get past the betrayal, but you betrayed them. So it's still your own fault at the end of the day.
I will say, I think there is a certain point in time where you should forgive. I didn't say forget, but because, okay, she did something 4 years ago, you still decided to stay, buddy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that, you know, like
don't keep bringing it up.
You're here and you ain't going nowhere.
But
and vice versa with women too.
People will say that, but the thing that you did to them happened last Tuesday. I'm going to bring it up. It's literally Saturday and you did it Tuesday. I'm going to bring it. It was just a couple days ago. But if you did it in 2016, I'm not going to still be bringing it up in 2025. I just would have got you out of my life if I can't get past it.
Right. Now, again, you can accept the consequences. We got to make sure we cover both sides. Yes, I get it. Yes, it hurt. Yes, that person did whatever that it was that they did to you. But you also don't have to stay there.
Exactly.
You know, if you're not in any physical harm of leaving or whatever, hey, don't get about it. If it's that bad, if that it much of an issue, I got a comment from Ms. She's sorry to follow, which means working on the issue. The person is mad that the person has to understand and know that what they did was wrong. There's a difference between it being wrong and you having an issue with it too. That's another side. Sometimes people have issues with things. It's not necessarily illegal. It's not a moral. It's just a personal kind of line for you.
Yeah.
That's your personal line, and y'all just probably not compatible. It shouldn't be friends or husband, wife, whatever that it is. So again, as with a lot of conversations, there are some gray areas. But in general, if you do something to somebody and they're offended, you cannot legislate to them how offended to me. Partner of ours that's on the show all the time says this all the time, Wayne 3D. You can't legislate to me how mad I'm supposed to be about some shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I might take shit all the way. You know what I'm saying? I might want to go bang, bang, shoot. You should let me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? And you might, what you did wasn't offense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably going to get banned after this, but saying that. But anyway, but it is what it is.
Do you think have the right to change their mind too? Because what if you did something to me and then I decided to forgive you, and then as time goes on, I realize okay, I can forgive you, but I just can't be with you anymore because I can't get over what you did to me. So I just have to end the relationship, and people will be upset with that. But it's I tried to look past it and get over it, but it just scarred me so bad. Now I have to make a decision that I have to remove from my life because you're doing more harm than good.
Yes.
Personally, I do not agree with that.
You don't?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. No, I already know. Go ahead. I already know. I don't agree with that. And the reason why is don't make the to make that decision. Cool, but once say it's cool to back and all of that stuff. Now you just playing around. That's just how I feel. Like, how long does it really take you to understand that that's something you're not gonna be able to get over with?
Well,
Like,
you
don't
can't.
bring me back into your life.
I mean,
Or
maybe you'll be thinking like you really want the person to be in your life. So you're trying to like look past it. You're trying to just forget about it. But like you can't.
Because
Can't.
maybe there's certain things that happens that are triggering, or things that might come up
Mhm.
that continue to remind you of whatever that thing is.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
I feel
So
like they
at
would
that
have the right to
point,
leave then.
yeah, so at that point you like, okay, so this keeps showing up and it's keep making me feeling some type of way. So I thought I can handle it, but I really can't.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I've been in this.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I didn't think of it like that, but I don't know. Like, what if I really try to open that door for you and it doesn't work? Then I'm have to end it.
I think it's okay for you to change your mind, because people change, people mindset change, they either elevate or don't elevate, you know what I'm saying? So we can't say people are wrong for changing their mind, because like I said, things come up, things could be triggering, and if it's a constant reminder of something that makes you feel some type of way or put you in a different mindset, then then you might need to go back to the table and reconsider what is going on.
Yep.
Okay, so what I wanted to say, I guess to kind of piggyback off of what they were saying. So like, okay, say somebody cheating, we still talking about cheating, right? So we're talking about cheating. Okay, so anyways, but no, for real. Okay, so if we talk about cheating and then somebody keeps going back to try to scratch that, somebody cheat, for one, if that hurts you that much, I don't think that you should go back to that person immediately. I think you should take time out to heal first before doing that. If you don't, and why people still just hold certain things and bring certain situations back up, is because in that moment their heart like, yeah, I still want that person, but really in the back of their mind they still hurt by like what the cheating or whatever they did. So that's why it just never works out, and then you continuously become in this cycle over and over and over, bringing the same situations, and you're still not leaving. Now at this point you got to take accountability as to why
you
all
still
this is
there.
still going on. Yeah, you can't keep blaming it on the other person,
Because you could have been
So-
left a long time ago and you wouldn't be
Exactly.
feeling like this.
Exactly.
True.
I feel that way because I've been in that situation before. So,
But like
and I
you
learned
said, you have to take accountability for your
Right.
part on that. So
exactly.
that's another way of taking accountability. Somebody might do something to you, but it's up to you to know, should you stick with this person or should you move on?
Right.
every person that I've ever forgiven in my life for anything, for me personally, I've known if I was going to be able to forgive them or not, because I have a very like thick line. You know, it's not thin, it's thick. You know what I'm saying? Once you touch it, we done. Or I know it's something that I'm over with. I've got a friend. Most of y'all know him. We got into it. It was a mix of business and friendship. And the one thing is, no personal business never got out during the time when we was beefing. Easier for me to trust that we could move forward and stuff like your action and that. You know what I mean? So, but before I even decided to, could I rekindle that relationship, I sat and I waited and I watched and I healed myself because I got bitter with people. I was making Facebook posts like, man, fuck all these friends, man. I can't stand none of y'all niggas. Jay, you know, I was in here talking shit. I was in there, I'm talking about every day. I was typing paragraphs. I was just that mad. You know what I mean? It was like two people back to back, lady and a female, both really good friends of mine, really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? One of them hurt the point of, I know it'll be any reconciliation. I knew the day it happened, the way I was cut off, ghosted, all that, way I was used, all that type of stuff. I knew. I can't, because I'll never be able to trust you.
Yeah.
It happens with the guy in that position. It's not because of being a man or being a woman, but it was just because I saw one, no personal business got out. Jordan about stayed where it was supposed to stay. And then it was also, there was a way that it was done. Okay, we mad at each other, but nobody tried to hurt each other. You know what I mean? So I knew that potentially down the line, took a year, but of not really speaking to each other. But after seeing each other at some events, and now it's back like, nothing ever happened, but we could trust each other. But that's just me. Even with like, a lady I've known, I've been cheated on before. I knew that in the situation and in the time it was, I already knew what was up. Well, you know what? I just knew it wasn't going to be any reconciliation. You know what I'm saying? In that particular instance. I would say if it happened, I got to see the situation, how I feel. But I know pretty much instantly, bro. I'm not going to come back and then, I can't deal with it. Now that I brought you back into the house, back into the fold. Now we back sleeping together. Now we back. Now if you do it again, that's a different thing. But I'm not going to go and be like, hold on to old stuff. And like at some point, I just think I got to move on.
I think cheating is a complete deal breaker for me. Like it's no like.
Hey, why this nigga came up here?
Who?
It's Doug, y'all. Y'all know.
Oh, yeah.
He said, and Woods had me putting your name in the prayer box.
But I had that happen, like that type of situation happen in a friendship, right? This particular person, had did some things that was a little shady, and I'm like, how can you, do somebody like that? And then I forgave them. And moving forward, right? Moving forward with the friendship, I just, okay, you was going through a bad time, this and that and the other. And so another situation came up and I was heated. I felt and everything. Like it was about my boots. Okay. If y'all don't know, I had let somebody hold some boots to dance, and there was a dancer and they just totally destroyed my shit. And I'm really particular about my stuff, right? And so when that happened, it was like, all right, bitch, you don't give a fuck about me. So now I really gotta throw you away, because whatever I was feeling on the inside about you, like this was my confirmation just to leave your ass the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jazz and Shay, and we going about here. It's 9:00, y'all.
Period.
Jazz, you got something on there?
It's still about accountability.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to the accountability part.
Just I just feel like accountability come with growth and maturity, and I think it's just a daily thing that we have to work on to be better people and to interact with one another, and that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, Shay, you.
I don't really have to say. Somebody said accountability is a foreign language to most people.
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't really have nothing else to say about that.
All right. So these are I'm involved on this. So the 3 C's when it comes to accountability, and whether if you have these things, it works. You can have it easier. Clarity, commitment, and consequences. All right, we've covered the consequences. You understand that whether it's you holding people accountable or you being accountable to them, there's going to be consequences to things that happen when there's issues. And if you understand that, that's fine. The commitment is the commitment to whatever it is, whether it's that relationship, repairing that relationship. Can you have that commitment to repair the issue? All right. You got to actually care. You got to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, some people just say, see how, that's why I like different ways of explaining it, because we all touched on this in different ways. Right. This just combines everything. And then it's clarity, giving strict or clear rules and regulations on what you are expecting.
Setting boundaries.
Whether it's your boundaries, your expectations, all of that. when they're clear, right?
Mhm.
When the framework is clear, you have less issues. A lot of times, some of these arguments, some of this, and the lack of accountability comes from not being clear on what was the issue in the first place.
Yep.
So now I don't even want to admit I was wrong because we wasn't even clear on what the situation was in the first place. For instance, friends with benefits kind of stuff. Somebody done caught feelings at the end. You know what I'm saying? Now you mad, but we kind of talked about in the beginning, but then we didn't quite talk about it. We kind of left it out there in the open. It wasn't clear exactly. So now you're mad. Now I'm mad. Now she mad. Now he mad. We
all
up in there. So nobody wants to take accountability to it. Well, I kind of said that. Well, kinda ain't I said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now, well, I did say we don't even really be having no feelings, but I did anyway.
That's
but
why I'm
because it
always
wasn't clear. Exactly.
You gonna know what it is and what it ain't over here.
Got you. It's not just for that, but also like workplace, understanding what your role is, what's my job, what's my title. Let me know exactly what it is, so that way it ain't no this wasn't done. Well, that ain't my job title.
Exactly.
But it's kind of implicit that you should Nah, dog. What it say on that right there?
They used to
You
try
wanna
to pull
rewrite
that
that
when I
up?
worked at Brewster's. That's why I don't work there anymore.
It ain't
Not doing it.
It ain't my job to clean out the field. My job. We already know earlier. We have to get to. Appreciate everybody's gonna get their social media starting. Right, let them know.
Y'all already know what it is. It's got rain. Y'all go ahead and check out my other platforms, the 3 Shades of Black Custom Creations on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And y'all go come to the stage tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all can catch me in James Naya Roberts on Facebook and on TikTok.
All right, y'all can get me on Instagram, TikTok at Beauty Elise. I also have a makeup Instagram, MUA Beauty Elise. And then if you want to find me on Facebook, you're going to have to do some detective work because no.
That's a detective work.
Okay, you can find me on all platforms at Shay Noir. It's SHENOIRR. That's on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I think that's TikTok. And my hair page is Nimzaj Beauty, NIMZA Beauty. Yep.
All right, y'all. You know it's your boy EJ. You know what I'm saying? AKA Mr. Conversation. You can find me on all platforms. Type in hashtag Mr. Conversation and everything will pull up. I'm gonna start coming back in front of the camera a little more now, you know, to drop a little 130 plus pounds, you feel me? So we gonna have us some fun tonight, y'all. We have another engagement as a group together. Thank y'all for pulling up and come back. We're gonna do the same thing next week, y'all.